What's up? What's going on, weirdos? Good to see you guys, man. Good to see you. How the heck are you guys? Anyway, nice little evening. Nice little evening for crypto. Yes, we do have a little more downside to go, in my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's get into the super chats right off the hop. Well, first, actually, where did we close? Bitcoin wicked all the way down to 105,285 and then ended up closing around 106,577, back up over 106,833 right now. Not bad, guys. Not bad. Again, I did tell everybody that this was coming. We're expecting this little golden pocket down here, right around that $102,000, $103,000 level. Bounce off the 50-week, and up we go. I know it's redundant. I know I say it every single stream, every single video, guys, but people still seem to miss it, right? Big Kev, what's up, man? I hope so. I hope so. I am so hoping the market is like a beach ball. The lower you push it down, the higher it bounces. Let's go. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Restful Mind, where you been, man? Mew2 in the house. Good to see you, man. Good to see you back. Matt, what's up, buddy? Dare I say these prices are more of a blessing than a curse? Everyone wishing for lower prices. Are you taking advantage? I would be. We're going to this run those who are strong. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. All the people who are upset about the low prices right now and that are not buying are the same people who are going to be asking me in a couple of weeks when we're way higher if I think we'll go back down so that they can buy back in, right? You watch. You watch. You can't make this stuff up, man. Let's scroll to the top of the chat. Let's see what's going on out there, guys. H. Barbarina in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you, Paul. Good to see you, my friend. Blessings, John. J Money, second Pokemon of the day. What's going on, Bulbasaur? Quentin's in the house. What's going on, Matt? I see you, brother. I see you. Pete, Future. How you doing, man? I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. I'd be doing better if I caught a fish that big, though. Holy samoly. Volks, what's up, buddy? Afternoon, Rob, and Crypto Fam. DCA is the way. Who bought ZBEC at 20307? Actually, I think, who was it? Who was it over in the Patreon? Someone said in the Patreon live stream this evening that they did. So, yeah. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We got 126 people watching. We have 42 likes. Not bad, guys. Not too bad, but we can do better. We can do better. We can get to 100. Let's crush this thing, guys. New all-time highs. All right. Where else are we? Alicia, are you ready to rumble? Watching over on Rumble. Nice. Yes. Make sure you guys are following me and subscribing on Rumble as well. We do a live stream over there. EZ says, yo, 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 Swift on bargain 200-day trend. There you go. The breakout will be marvelous. I agree. Sean, people's heads will spin when they're sitting at 150K Bitcoin by the end of the year. Exactly. Ray, what's up, buddy? One of the smartest decisions I ever made was to join the Patreon. Thank you, Rob. Let's go smash the likes. Hey, amen, brother. Absolutely. We love having you, man. We love having you. Restful Mind says, thank you, Rob. You're the man. Guidance has been priceless. Thank you so much. Quicksilver, can ETH hit 7K by end of year? Yeah, that's possible. That is possible. Dave, what's up, man? Let's go, baby. Let's freaking go. Benjamin, what's going on? Long time no see. Yeah, no kidding. It's like, wait a minute. Splake, panic selling on eBay to get more dry powder. There you go. I dig it, brother. Hoover says, fear and greed at 21, extreme fear. Time to buy. Is it? Is it an extreme fear? Let me have a looky-loo. No, 27, man, on CoinMarketCap still shows 27. Still not in extreme fear. Not on CoinMarketCap's fear and greed index. Russell Mines has been lurking in the background, just been crazy busy working, getting the dry powder for this dip you called weeks ago. Amen to that, man. Gain, what's happening, buddy? What's this company suing Binance for liquidation? That's Wintermute. Wintermute is a market maker. They're a market maker. In the U.S. government opened this week or no Christmas for the workers. Yeah, exactly. Let's go Pico and LG. Absolutely, Bob. Sports cards. Absolutely. Spark coin worth entering now. I mean, just about anything is worth entering now, in my opinion. Not financial advice. Splake. I got in ZBIC at 309, saving my portfolio right now. Nice. There you go. Avantis, yeah. Avantis is good. Yeah, good entry point on Avantis. 309 Canadian. There you go. Do you still think ZBIC runs before Swift? Yes, I do. Eric, just started following you because of Caesar. Good work, bro. Thoughts on XCN? Very, very bullish on XCN, brother. Very bullish on XCN. Yes, love it. I think it's going to do super fantastic. I wouldn't be shocked to see it reach a new all-time high. I think the all-time high is like 18 cents for XCN. So, this guy in Patreon bought ZBIC under 203. I beat Andy daily. Jason, yes, Jason, yes. No problem, Eric. I got you covered, man. I got you covered. How far can SPX go? To the moon, man. To the moon. SPX has a lot of room for growth. A lot of room for growth. Moto, thoughts on Pay AI? I've never heard of it, if I'm being honest. I've never heard of it, but let me Pay AI. Pay AI. It's got really good tokenomics, $18 million market cap. It just had a big run, and then it crashed back down. All-time high 7 days ago, 7 cents. This is a meme coin, I assume? Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Oh, it's an AI agent. Okay. On pump.fun. Wow, had a good run. Yeah, it would be a decent entry point right now, Moto. It would be a decent entry point, but I wouldn't go crazy on it. Yep, Turbo, absolutely. I really hope XCN hits all-time highs. Absolutely. PAI is part of the 402 ecosystem. I've been meaning to do a little bit of digging into the 402 ecosystem. People have been asking me about it a lot, so I might do a video on it. Right now, I would be doing utility coins, honestly. Okay, so we're caught up in the chat, guys. Let's get into the news a little bit. We got quite a bit to get into. Not a lot of time. I have a team meeting to get to for 9 o'clock Central, so we got to burn through this stuff. Expert predicts first spot XRP ETF will launch within days. In a post on X on November 3rd, Garcia said that 2 weeks would be the maximum time frame for the XRP ETF debut, suggesting that regulatory silence following the U.S. government shutdown has effectively cleared the path for automatic approvals. His remarks were echoed across the crypto community when Gemini and several market analysts expressing optimism about XRP's upcoming milestone. According to the SEC records, Grayscale was the first in line for an XRP ETF. Canary Capital has since amended its application to target a launch by November 13th. That's only 10 days from today, updating key language in preparation for the listing. The firm recently received automatic approvals for its Litecoin and HBAR ETFs, suggesting a similar trajectory for XRP. Meanwhile, Bitwise updated its filings to disclose a 0.34% management fee and plans to list the fund on New Year's Eve. Sorry, New Year's Eve. New York Stock Exchange, New Year's Eve. I'm tired. Can you tell I'm tired? Bloomberg's Eric Balchunius commented that multiple ETF issuers are now racing to align filings with the SEC's post-shutdown timelines, noting that the window for XRP's approval could open any day now. The upcoming launch of the XRP ETFs carries major symbolic weight for the Ripple ecosystem. After years of battling the SEC lawsuit, the case was officially closed earlier this year under the Trump administration. SEC led by Paul Atkins, known for his more crypto-friendly stance. Garcia called this the event a defining moment for the industry, noting that the successful approval of spot XRP ETFs represents not only an institutional breakthrough, but a historic regulatory shift. The launch of the spot XRP ETF represents the final nail in the coffin of previous anti-crypto regulators. There goes Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army punching a pillow somewhere. XRP has continued to trade near multi-year highs following the resolution of the legal disputes, and the imminent ETF listings could further strengthen its position as one of the top institutional grade digital assets of 2025. And he says, yeah, Jason, your 10K to my 2 million beats me. Well played, sir. Well played. Go Clearpool. Hell yeah. Big John's in the house. Moto says PAI is migrating from pump to radium starting tomorrow. Nice. There you go. Carlos, hey Rob, on vacation in Mexico, but still here being a weirdo. My guy, there you go, brother. Enjoy your trip. Good night, O House. Good to see you again, my friend. Thanks for coming. Get some rest. You're going to need it for the no sleep zone, my friend. All right, what else do we have? We got more to get into. Bitcoin buy 92K. Okay, sure. Amazing coins. Just wanted to stop by and say thank you, Rob, for everything you've done for me and the great Patreon family. Amen to that, man. Amen, brother. Thank you so much. Guys, you got to get over and join the community. There's me and thousands of other members over there. You're missing out, man. Daily trades, group coaching calls. We just finished our Patreon live stream. Fed's Lisa Cook says the economy is strong and supports rate cuts. So Little Miss Mortgage Fraud has decided to flip positive on rate cuts. In a speech, Cook demonstrated her support for the recent interest rate cuts and asserted that she's willing to consider further reductions. Notably, the federal governor has largely kept a low profile since Trump attempted to remove her in August due to the allegations of mortgage fraud. To avoid trouble, Cook shifted her focus to the legal battles that enabled her to remain at the central bank. Addressing the audience at a Brookings Institution in Washington, D.C. on Monday, November 3rd, Cook highlighted her outlook regarding the country's economic status and her opinion on the monetary policy. She said the economy was strong, however, the federal governor pointed out risks to steady inflation and low unemployment. She agreed that the Federal Open Market Committee earlier decision to lower the central bank's interest rate by 0.25%, which passed by a vote of 10-2. So can you believe that 2 commissioners at the Fed still voted for no rate cut? 2. Really? Are you drunk? Anyway. So Little Miss Mortgage Fraud is now positive on rate cuts. So there you go, right? Seems like she kind of acquiesced regardless to what the administration wanted. So there you go. And you come in a lower entry price, trash talking your big head drinks. Best community out here, Rob. You the best. Thank you so much, Blake. I appreciate you, man. All right, so the Fed will be paralyzed by divisions unless it takes a strategic view on rate cuts.
Talk about the Fed, rates, and so much more with Mohamed Al-Arry. He, of course, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business, Chief Economic Advisor at Allianz, and so much more, friend of Squawk. We haven't had a chance to talk, Mohammed, since we heard from Jay Powell last week. I think as openly as we've ever heard him really talk about dissension on the board of the Fed in terms of what comes next. And I'm curious what your perspective was coming out of that press conference and how clear he was about that.
So it was very clear that there are major divisions within the FOMC, and we've heard since the extent of those divisions. They relate to whether you worry more about inflation or you worry more about unemployment. The second issue that's clear is that there's different views as to what you do under uncertainty. And the uncertainty comes from the lack of federal data. Some people feel that you slow down and therefore you should stay on hold. Other people say, no, the destination is the same. We should continue going towards lower rates. That is not going to be resolved unless the Fed takes a strategic view of the economy. And in particular, does it believe we are on the verge of a productivity surge, which I think we are? And secondly, does it believe that what's happening to the labor market has to do with demand as much as supply, which I think it has. But unless the Fed is willing to take a strategic view, Andrew, they're going to be paralyzed by divisions.
Go back and just hit the employment piece, because you just made a sort of an interesting observation about what you think is driving this. You don't think it's a demand issue, you think it's a supply issue, or you're saying it's the opposite?
It's both. So definitely we're going to see a decoupling of growth from employment. Part of that has to do with AI, part of that has to do with the changed behavior among companies. But there's also a demand element that we are seeing in place. So it's both. If it were only supply, then the Fed would not cut. But because there's a demand element and because we are on the verge of a productivity increase, there is an argument why the Fed should continue cutting.
So it sounds like you would cut?
Oh, absolutely. I would cut in December. I would have started cutting in July. We should not get in the way of this continued strong growth because it offers a solution to a lot of other things in the economy. And we just have to get used to something you've heard me say, which is that inflation is going to stick around to 2.5% to 3% for a while. And that's okay because it's stable. The most important thing is stable inflation. And we've seen inflation expectations haven't been de-anchored.
What is the crypto market telling you right now?
Oh, it's telling you lots of things. It's telling you that the longer-term investor base, while it's growing, is not big enough to deal with the ups and downs of speculation. Very different than what we're seeing in the gold market, which is stabilizing. So, what you're seeing is the structural setup of different markets. Crypto, looking forward, will continue to increase the institutional base, the more stable base, what I call resident investors. But you have a lot of tourist investors in the market right now, and that's what you're picking up.
A lot of tourists.
Right. Do you have any thoughts? We've been talking about it this morning, but most people have not thought it means anything. But there's been a whole lot of action in the repo market that the Fed's been engaged in. I know that happens oftentimes at the end of a month, but it's an awful lot.
Oh, it is. And it's lasting longer than normal. Look, it just tells you that we have tight financial conditions in certain part. I don't worry about it in the terms of it getting systemic. I don't think it causes a sudden stop. I don't think it causes any breakdown, but you're getting clear indication as to why the Fed decided that it should stop QT as of December 1. And that's the right thing to do.
And then I want you to weigh in on this one. We've been having debates all morning about, the mayoral election in New York and all of these different things. But the prediction markets, you care about markets. You look at markets. Bill Ackman was out there last week saying the prediction markets from the mayoral campaign in New York, he believes are being manipulated. We've heard this kind of thing before, typically from folks who are supporting a candidate on the losing end. They say, don't look at the prediction market. The prediction market isn't right. There are folks that are doing funny things with it. Do you believe that's true?
I mean, you'd have to tell me how they're being manipulated. I often hear exactly what you said. When you don't like what they're saying, you then tend to say they are manipulated. How are they being manipulated? I'd be very curious as to what Bill thinks about how they're being manipulated before I can tell you whether I believe it they're being manipulated. But in general, they tend not to be manipulated. So you have to prove the point rather than just assume the point.
And so if they say you're losing, oh, those are made. Those are not. Those are, those are manipulated prediction markets. Bitcoin falters after monthly close. Price eyes deeper crash. The weak finish has reignited talks of an impending correction, with some analysts eyeing a potential drop towards $87,000. Bitcoin's inability to hold above 110,000 has traders questioning whether the market's multi-month rally has run its course. According to a recent analysis by Trading Shot on TradingView, BTC's latest rejection from its 50-day moving average has revived a bearish fractal eerily similar to the one seen between December 2024 and February of 2025. During that earlier phase, Bitcoin lost its higher lows structure and slid more than 30% from record levels before stabilizing. The same setup, a failed breakout at the 0.5 Fibonacci zone, declining volume, and persistent lower highs, appears to be unfolding again, raising fears of another steep correction. If history rhymes, the next significant support could form near $87,000, aligning with the 2.0 Fibonacci extension and the weekly 100-day moving average. Two levels that have previously acted as a launch pad for rebounds. The technical weakness comes at a time when the broader macro backdrop is turning uncertain. Hopes for a Federal Reserve rate cut before the end of the year have started to fade, denting risk appetite across global markets. Bitcoin, often seen as a high beta asset, has mirrored that hesitation, showing little reaction even to positive developments like renewed trade progress between Washington and Beijing. Some traders suggest that the muted price response signal fatigue after a long rally fueled by ETF inflows and institutional accumulation earlier in the year. Liquidity seems to be drying up just as macro risks are resurfacing. One trader noted, pointing to declining open interest and the shrinking volume on major exchanges. Despite the cautious mood, long-term holders appear largely unfazed. On-chain data indicates continued accumulation below $100,000, with several wallet cohorts adding to their positions. Analysts say that if the market does follow through with a pullback, it could reset overbought conditions and pave the way for another leg higher into 2026. Still, the short-term tone remains defensive. Bitcoin's failure to reclaim the psychological $110,000 level has turned the area into a ceiling of resistance. And traders are watching for confirmation of whether 95 to 90,000 will hold in the weeks ahead. A rare October miss. Yes, we know we missed October. It sucked. All right, we got more Squawk Box to get into here. Let me get back into the chat. DH says, definitely taking a tongue lashing from my girl about investing in crypto, but I know I'll have the last laugh. Yeah, hey, just give her a tongue lashing back as soon as we see the altcoin season and everything pop off, right? So yeah, just feed it. You know what you do? You record it and then you play it back to her when you're rich, right? And say, you didn't support me. Shutdown stalemate day 34. The battle over healthcare costs.
Treasury official Natasha Sarin. She's a professor at Yale School and president and co-founder of the Budget Lab, and former economic advisor Stephen Moore. He's now with Unleash Prosperity. Stephen, you still have ears with people that are in charge doing all these things. What is your best guess as to what's happening behind the scenes right now? Do you expect what Chuck Schumer's wanted all along, some type of backroom deal with Thune and President Trump mediating that somehow gives Democrats a guarantee on extending these subsidies? Is that what finally happens? Or does Trump hold firm and say, you just got to open the government before we do anything?
Well, I hope the latter. Look, this is a fight about some important issues. We're running a $2 trillion annual deficit. We've got a debt. When I first came to Washington 40 years ago, the debt was $1 trillion. Now we're at $38 trillion. Everybody knows that this can't continue. And the Republicans have these tiny little cuts in the budget, $1.5 trillion out of $80 trillion over the next 10 years. And Democrats don't even want to do that. So I think it's really important that Trump stick to his guns here and say, look, these are important cuts in programs. Most of it is trying to just get rid of fraud in these programs. You don't have to believe me, by the way. You look at the government's own auditors that Medicare and Medicaid have over $200 billion of fraud per year. That is people who are not eligible for the programs getting it. So this is important if we want fiscal discipline in Washington.
Natasha, I know that most Democrats just feel that it's an inalienable right for people to have health care. So someone's going to pay for it one way or another. Others point out the Affordable Care Act has been anything but affordable, really been unaffordable, and maybe has exacerbated health care inflation. But one way or another, if the government's going to, is that your argument? The government's going to end up paying, whether it's eventually single payer, which some people think that's where Democrats want it to go anyway. But is that basically what they're saying? You know, people deserve this. You got to pay for it.
No, I actually agree with Stephen about the importance of taking seriously fiscal discipline. And we're in a situation where we're running a 6% deficit to GDP by the end of the decade as a result of, in part, the tax package that was passed this summer. We're going to be closer to 8 or 9%. And so these are really, really important issues. But what I can tell you as an economist is we know that the Affordable Care Act and access to affordable insurance has been hugely important and impactful for the people who have access to that insurance. Work that academics like Bruce Meyer have done has shown that the cuts that were legislated this summer, which Stephen thinks are small cuts, are going to lead to something like 100,000 excess premature deaths over the course of the decade. So these things are big deals and they have huge, significant consequences, which is why I suspect they're tied up in the types of political battles we're seeing at the moment.
Yeah. Predicting deaths, I don't know. Bill Gates we'd all be supposedly frying in the heat right now, and there would have been millions of deaths already, and now he totally backed. That was a total exaggeration and pipe dream. I mean, that's what we can't use that. Natasha,
but we have some estimates about exactly what's happened over the course of the last few years as people have gotten access to insurance. And we know that we've prevented a lot of deaths. So it's not crazy to suspect that as you take away that insurance, you're going to have more.
It would be nice to cover everyone, but we also, there are obviously, Stephen, flaws in the way Obamacare is administered that Republicans probably need to come together with Democrats to fix it because it's not going away at this point. Is that what we should be doing right now, before the government reopens or after?
Well, you made an important point that, you know, I remember debating this bill in 2010, I believe it was. It's been 15 years since we passed the, quote, Affordable Care Act. And since that time, the cost of health care has almost tripled. It is a huge, huge detriment to our economy that we keep pushing so much money into healthcare. We could have better healthcare in this country for almost half the cost. And so I think the people who support Obamacare expansion have to explain to America why they defrauded the American people and said that this would save money. You saw probably just the other day in the Wall Street Journal that the average family is now paying $35,000 to $40,000 a year for healthcare. I mean, Joe, nobody can afford that.
Should we just acknowledge that? I mean, we don't want, and Republicans look at the midterms coming up, you don't want premiums doubling or tripling. We know healthcare is expensive. I mean, Natasha, what do you want? Single payer? Is it would that? Is there any way that would help? Is that the holy grail for the left?
I definitely don't. I definitely don't think that that's the holy grail. And in part, I think what you and Stephen are discussing is like a bit of the challenge. Like, we all agree that healthcare is too expensive. We all agree that surely there are sensible reforms to make, but actually getting from where we are to what those sensible reforms should be is just a harder task than one might hope. And so I agree with you, Joe. Like, do you really want at the end of this year to be looking at American families and telling them you need to pay twice as much as you're paying, which is already a lot, for health insurance? I think that's just a pretty difficult thing to be telling people, especially at a moment when they're seeing thousands of dollars of price increases as a result of tariffs that this administration is pursuing as well.
Let me respond to that, because the real problem in America today is not too little health insurance, but way, way too much health insurance, Joe. I mean, if you look at the situation today, people have basically first dollar coverage. Nobody is paying any attention to what anything costs. By the way, the people who are in on this scam, the people who have made the most money on Obamacare, have been the big health insurance companies. I mean, it's robbery. If we have this expansion of Obamacare that the Democrats want, 80% of that money is going to go right into the hands of the big insurance companies. I mean, I don't want to sound like Bernie Sanders here, but I guess I am. I mean, why do we keep funneling?
It's not an expansion of Obamacare, though. It's what people are already experiencing with respect to the premiums.
Except it was supposed to be an emergency. It was post-COVID to get us through COVID. COVID ended 5 years ago.
Again, I think you're good. I think it's a hard thing. Just as an economist, these are families who have budgeted for the fact that these premiums are what they are today. To go and tell them that they're going to pay twice as much as they are for health insurance coverage, many of them won't get that health insurance coverage and will have adverse health consequences. And
but
I just think that that's a hard thing
Natasha,
to be doing.
The reason people are paying so much for the premiums is because Obamacare was a huge failure. It was a fraud. I mean, at least the Democrats should admit that.
I would be so keen to spend some time with you. By the way, this is just one of many problems that are on the horizon as our demographics shift, right? We have the Social Security trust funds that are set to expire, the Medicare trust funds that are set to expire all over the course of the next decade. So I would be so keen to spend time with you to hash out exactly how to solve these efforts, but it's a harder task than you're laying out.
I feel like she was hitting on him a little bit. I don't know. It felt like she was asking him out to dinner or something. Boundaries, woman, boundaries. Caper Kev, thank you so much for the super sticker, man. I appreciate you. Benjamin says, high five. Thanks for all you do, bro. God bless. Hey, absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting me. I hear, Rob, do you ever watch Paul Barron Network? Not a bad show. Yeah, I watch him from time to time. Yeah, I like Paul Barron. Yep, I do. All right, guys, listen. I got a meeting I got to get to for the team meeting, so we're going to do that. Get over to the Patreon, guys. Check out the live stream that we did tonight. Check out our newsletter went out today as well. You can book one-on-one coaching calls, group coaching calls. Check out our trading group, especially right now when times are tough, when things are red. Our trading group is still making that trade deal, man. We're still making that passive income, still making that money trading. If you don't know how to trade, I got good news for you. Our trading course is free over on the Patreon as a Patreon member. So check it out, guys. All that and more. The link is down below in the description. It's in the pinned comments. You can use the QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 o'clock. God bless.